Welcome to the workshop. It's good to have you here. Now, I've got a bit of a cold, so you'll have to excuse me. I wanted to talk today about when things go wrong. You can see this mold here. There's a lot of mess and silicone all around. So what's happened here is I hot glued this foam board onto this wooden panel after coating it with aluminium foil, or aluminium if you're British like me. The reason that I did that was originally I was gonna do a matrix mold and I changed my mind. So I thought what I'd do is I use foam board or foam core, hot glue it on, and just do a standard kind of mold really. And the intention was then to cover it in fiberglass as a jacket, so that when I turn it over and use it, because the walls are quite thin on this, or the intention was, it won't flop around all over the place and the fiberglass will support it. Now what's happened is basically that hot glue has given way under the weight of the silicone and started to leak out. Now it was small little leaks to start with, which I then plugged with bits of modelling clay, oil-based modelling clay, plasticine if you will, and that started to do the trick initially, and then it started to leak more, so I started to put more on and put more pressure on, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. And the reason for that was every time I was pushing with the plasticine, I was breaking more of the glue, and then I noticed this wall at the front here lifting up, so it was floating. The silicone was getting underneath it and pushing it up and therefore breaking it further along. So I put some weights on it and I put these clamps on to pull that wall in, because it had opened up from 5mm to about 1 centimetre. So we're kind of talking 1/4 of an inch to nearly 1/2 inch difference. So that had opened up, so I used this to hold those. This wall closest to me had moved somehow further in, so there wasn't a lot of space between the two, so I'm not worried about the clamps closing that space up. And the reason for that is how I'm going to recover this is when I take all the foam core off and clean up all the spilt silicone all over the place. I'm going to get some silicone and some thixotropic agent, so that's a thickening agent, and I'm just going to slather it down the side of this wall to thicken this up, thicken up the places where I think it needs thickening up. I think this wall on the inside edge here, that'll probably need doing as well, but it's recoverable. I've managed to arrest the leaking. Yes, okay, so the mould's got a bit deformed, but I haven't wasted all of this silicone. I mean, I mixed up 4 kilos, 4.5 kilos, or 5.5 actually, thinking about it. About 5.5 kilos of silicone here. I've probably lost maybe 1/2 kilo looking at that. So we've lost some, but we've recovered it. So my point here is that things, even for people that you see on YouTube that you think, oh, they're a professional, even if they're a professional, things happen. Things go wrong and you just have to deal with it. Don't get disheartened, don't panic, keep a cool head, and think about what you're going to do. Doing that will allow you to save projects quite often, or save mould. So I've got a plan in my head as to fixing this, so it's not a complete waste. I don't have to start all over again, although it has slowed me down. So what I probably should have done was one of two things. I should have either continued with the matrix mould as intended, which would have taken a little bit longer, or something I haven't done before, which is an older way of doing it before people were doing matrix moulding, is to use normal silicone as a beauty coat. You create a small wall quite wide around the outside edge just to catch it, and then you put thickened silicone over it, in multiple layers until it's at the desired thickness. And then you let that set, and then you build a jacket over the top of it. By doing this, I thought I was doing a shortcut. Turns out that I probably made things a little harder for myself, but I'm not going to get disheartened. I saved the mold, I kept a cool head. So yeah, that is a recovery. So just, you know, don't get disheartened when things go wrong on your projects. It can be recovered, and there are ways around it. Just don't panic. All right, cool. So that's it for this video. I've got some more videos coming up to do with blacksmithing and bladesmithing, something I'm taking up at the moment and learning. Been doing a lot of welding, so we've got videos of those coming up. But in the meantime, if you subscribe, you can catch those. And I'm going to put some videos probably over here or over here somewhere for you guys to have a quick look at as well in the meantime. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you next time.